My wife, F27, wants me, M26, to only talk to my son in her language. My wife, F27, wants me, M26, to only talk to my son in her language. We've been together for 5 years and been married since 1.5 years. I am from Germany and she was born in Russia and went to Germany when she was 2 years old. Now she tells me that the only way she wants to raise our child east that for the first 6 years of his life we will only talk in Russian to him. She say she finds it important to have something that connects her with the child. That she can talk in her native language to her own song. And I get that. But when I asked her about me and that I want that too, she just said, yes. But I just hope you understand me. What in the fuck is that kind of answer? I feel so trapped. RN. She was raised in Russian until she got into kindergarten and wants to do that with our child. It would be so hard to connect with my child when I can't even talk to him correctly cause I only speak a bit of Russian. She just thinks of herself. I mean, how is the kid supposed to find friends or connect with someone when he's German but can't even talk German? I feel trapped, on my own. Alone. There's been lots of research done on this topic and the data overwhelmingly supports starting speaking multiple languages to infants. The ideal window for spoken language learning closes to an extent as kids are about 6+ years. You guys could speak to your pediatrician about it. Further, how the hell is Russian only going to work when you barely speak it? He better learn both. That's very selfish of her. Don't buckle. She's going to have to understand that it's a 50-50 road. Talk to him in both. That's a load of crap on her part. Teach both languages simultaneously. I've got friends whose kids were raised learning 3 languages at once and use specific languages with specific grandparents. Now 5. The kid switches easily between English, French and Hindi depending on who she's talking to, and it will be very beneficial for the child to have those skills. I, F25, got unicorn hunted by my friends of almost a decade. I may delete this post because I have no idea if they browse these communities, but they are extremely active in online communities. In fact, I believe it's one of their main social interactions over the last 2 years. I've been friends with this couple for almost 8 years. I've been in and out of relationships and at this point I'm single. They're married for almost 3 years now, F27 and M28, and they've both been close friends of mine for 7-8 years. It's no secret they are struggling with their relationship and sex life. At some point over a year ago, I suppose they discussed that I, F25 was hot and now single, would be the solution to their sex life issues since I'm bisexual and could please both of them. I found out this has been planned for a very long time and they were both in on it for a long time. I feel like this is somewhat of an ultimate betrayal considering how sneaky it was. How many things that were played off as friendly and how many, oh well we are in a committed relationship and you're our friend, things were actually hidden intentions. I found out this started because they no longer feel attracted to each other and resent each other, but I am a sexual object to both of them, that they both find attractive, and I just feel just horrible in a way I can't describe. My friends of almost a decade are failing their marriage, so they've turned to one of their only friends as a sexual conquest because they're no longer attracted to each other or having sex anymore. I rejected them and my rejection went somewhat well, but I can't shake the feeling of knowing that nicknames they called me, friendly touches, and more all had a purpose and an endgame of having a bisexual in the middle of their relationship. To make it all worse, I was their friend for so long and it feels like I was deceived and snuck around. Definitely they saw you as a sex object without any autonomy. Is okay to ditch them as friends. How do you know for sure? If they truly dropped the issue when you told them no, and are not waiting some time for you to cool down and bring the issue again, hoping you'll change your mind? I wouldn't risk it honestly. ETA. I read your other comments and you need to separate yourself from them ASAP. They tried to saw you. What would have happened if your other friends wouldn't have looked up for you or if they tried to waste you when there were just them two and you? They didn't do anything beyond than that because they were stopped by your other friends. Please, you can't trust them at all. Have you considered telling them how you feel? How do you split chores when one partner has higher standards? I was always pretty chill about living standards. Not like crazy bad, but I never minded some crumbs here or a few items left on the floor, etc. My partner has higher standards that I try my best to live up to, but now it feels like everything I do I'm basically doing for her. I feel like splitting chores is supposed to take half the load off each partner, but it seems like the half I do is still significantly more than I would do if I lived on my own. My partner and I are currently working through this exact same situation. We've agreed to make a list each day of what needs to be done and work together to complete them. It's also important to know what are deal breakers for your partner. For me, dishes, counters, and the litter boxes have to be done every day because they can have bad smells and/or attract bugs. I can compromise on many of the other tasks, but these are hard limits for me. Does your partner have any must-dos? Also, how is your division of labor in other areas of household management? Single mom looking for advice with teenage son. I'm completely new to Reddit, so I'm sorry if this is the wrong place or is weird or anything of that nature. I've been watching the Reddit videos on YouTube and decided to approach you all with my own issues, as I'm really unsure of what to do. As the title says, I'm a single mom, 34, with a teenage son, 14. Due to many complications in our relationship, my now ex-husband and I broke up 7 years ago. He enjoyed partying too much, reason for breakup, and he ended up dying whilst on holiday abroad 3 years ago whilst partying with his friends. We co-parented pretty well, despite our differences, and it hurt both myself and my son when he passed. We both went into therapy for a couple of years. He refused to go without me, to help us to come to terms with the fact that ex-husband is gone forever. I'm not saying that things are better, and I'm pretty sure that it may be part of the problem, but the therapist could do no more. That's the backstory, I suppose. So recently my son has been spending more time in his room with his door closed. Yes. I know why. I'm a mom, I'm not stupid. That's not the problem. He still does his outdoor activities: football, cycling, BMX, going out with friends, gaming, etc. etc. So I'm not worried about him socially or anything like that. He's actually still happy-go-lucky, bubbly, and generally seems to be loving life. However, he's just recently started, accidentally, walking in on me. At first I thought it was genuine accidents, then I realized it was only happening during times that he thought I might be in compromising positions, getting ready for work in the morning, changing in the evening, in the shower, etc. Again, could be a genuine mistake, I may be overthinking things. I decided to put locks on doors. The bathrooms, long overdue. The old bolt lock had been painted over at some point in the past, and bedrooms all now have locks. Sorted. The doors rattled a few times when I was in said rooms, but nothing more than that, and it died away. Now he's decided to take up swimming and wants us to go on a family swim. Fine. Happy to spend time bonding. I get out my one piece and he turns his nose up in disgust and said he thought I was a cool mom. When I asked for clarity, he suggested a bikini would look better. Uncomfortable. I told him that what I wear has nothing to do with him, and that was that. We've been swimming for a few weeks. He mentions other women that are in the swimming pool and how good they look in bikinis. No two ways about it, my son is being a creep, but he's a teenager. Since then, his laptop broke. He has a personal one for his games and a school one for his, well, school. Took it in for repairs, turns out he's been downloading porn and downloaded a virus. No, I don't have parental blocks on, call me a bad parent if you will. The porn isn't the issue, as such, the issue is the type of porn. He's been watching incest stuff. I'll let you use your imagination for what. Safe to say, I was horrified, disgusted, and felt physically sick. I had a talk with him about it, he was embarrassed, and claimed that he just likes older women and that's why he was watching it, not for the incest part. He told me that he isn't attracted to me, and he promised to stop watching it. I told him that I wasn't overly concerned with him watching it, after all he's a growing man in times where this stuff is readily accessible in all kinds of forms and it's basically impossible to block it, but to be aware that the content is fake and that real life isn't anything like the content in these things. I told him that girls his age won't be interested in doing most of what he's seen, and as he gets older he'll realize that what's in those videos isn't remotely realistic. He told me that he understood and we moved on to talking about what's for dinner. Just to clarify, when I said he's been downloading porn, it was 4 videos. There's a small bit of online history, but it shows a visit to one of those types of website once or twice a week, if that. I'm not concerned about a porn addiction. I've also taken it upon myself to dress a bit more conservatively, and be more conscious of how I appear around him. Despite the beautiful weather we're currently having, I'm wearing t-shirts and light summer pants instead of shorts, skirts, etc. I've always felt comfortable with my body and I've always enjoyed dressing fashionably, but I feel that I can no longer do this. Does anyone have any insight or advice? Maybe more counseling? Just to make sure this is just a phase and not growing into something more serious. Good luck. Back to therapy for him. You're a surrogate for his sexual exploration, and while the urge is to recoil, you defs need to get him help. Does he have any male figures he can lean on? They may be a resource. He's 14. All women in porn are older than him, so combine his genre of porn to his comments and behavior. I don't necessarily buy his, I just like older women. There's nothing inherently wrong with liking older women, but he's kinda being a creeper. I would get him back in therapy.